the food.
Well, buckle up.
Back in the old time machine.
13th century. Texture, taste.
Very fishy.
Preservatives.
Cornish pasty.
Oh my god, I'd never even thought of that. The themes of empire, mission, inheritance, and destiny.
Hello and welcome back to What the Food, the podcast that uncovers the origin stories of dishes, food items and drinks from all around the world. We dive headfirst into history to try and figure out why we eat the food we eat. My name is Miles Dickinson, here with Andy Cantor and Dom Gray, and today we're uncovering the origin of plov.
Plov?
Is that how it's pronounced? Plov?
Plov? Plov.
Plov. I thought you were joking when you originally said that we were covering a dish called plov.
Yeah.
And then you said it was originating from a country called Uzbekistan, which I then thought was a made-up country, and it was all part of some kind of bit you were doing.
Elaborate.
Oh, wow.
And then I realised that plov is a real dish and Uzbekistan is a real country, and that I'm just an ignorant white British man. It seems, because I had no idea that was a country.
Tell me something I didn't know.
You never heard of it, Uzbekistan before?
Well, no, because there's a concentration of countries in that area of the world that all have...
What stands?
It stands.
Yeah, Istan.
Yeah.
Do you know what Istan stands for?
No.
No, it's people. That's what it stands for. So it's like Uzbeki people, or like Azerbaijan, like
Tajikistan.
I feel bad because it's a pretty legit country, it seems.
It is, mate. Yeah. Yeah, it's a legitimate country with legitimate people living there. Got their own language, got their own cities.
Cuisine.
And got their own cuisine. And that's why we're here today. How many people do you reckon live in Uzbekistan?
17 million.
No.
Go on, Miles.
3.5 million.
Wow, that's not very much at all, that is it? 3.5 million. It's probably like
Less than
Oxford.
London. That.
Yeah. Again, though, I've not really heard of it.
Because you've not heard of it. Nobody's living there.
Just minimising it.
No, it's 34 million people live in Uzbekistan.
Oh, so I had exactly half.
Well,
I'll take that.
that's a tough ask, that.
Well, it's closer than 3.5.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, well, Miles didn't have hope, did he? Never heard of it. So might as well have been Tatooine for Miles.
Literally. I feel bad because I've done a little bit of like surface level research and I should have known. But isn't that the whole point of this podcast? To learn information through food.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's it.
That's a beautiful message, that.
Life's a learning journey, mate, and we're all there together. Welcome.
Yeah.
Hop aboard, guys.
Exactly.
Come on. We're going on a journey. Come on. Jump in. You don't even have to buy a ticket.
You don't even have to buy a ticket. But one thing I did notice from my very surface level research, because I didn't want to delve into it too much, didn't want to ruin, I didn't want to have spoilers.
It exists. Spoiler alert.
It's on Earth. But no, it's a mixing pot from what I could see. I feel like the people of Uzbekistan are 1/3 Russian, 1/3 Chinese, 1/3 Middle Eastern.
Yeah. So it was on the Silk Road. So it's definitely a big old melting pot. Lots of people there from different backgrounds.
So a few people passed through.
It has Persians, Ottomans, all sorts. Everyone's been there.
They've all had their go.
And everyone's had a spoonful of plov as they've been walking through.
It's a funny name, innit? Come on.
It is.
Plov.
Yeah. So we in the West we actually call it pilaf. Pilaf.
Right.
Well, like the rice.
That's pilau.
That'll
almost.
do it. Yeah, I was nearly there.
Close enough for us white British men.
Yeah, exactly.
So pilaf is the English term, which was borrowed from the Turkish word pilav, which was their word for it, which in turn was borrowed from the Persian word polo, P-O-L-O-W.
Right.
And it's kind of it's like a bit of a bastardization over time. But for the rest of this episode, we'll be referring to it as plov, because that's what the Uzbekis call it. It's their national dish. That's what we're going to call it.
Yep.
Spot on.
So yeah, plov. That's what we're talking about today. National dish of Uzbekistan. I'd never heard of it before researching it, but it just rolls off the tongue. Plov, 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 plov.
You can't go wrong.
It does sound a little bit kind of Oliver Twist-esque. I feel like they're all getting served big sloppy bowls of plov.
Yeah.
In a child labour workhouse.
This is a bit better. So picture this, right? You've got a steaming mountain of rice. You've got tender chunks of beef or lamb. You've got a vibrant mix of carrots, onions, chickpeas, all married together with like a riot of spices that will really kind of awaken your senses.
I'm getting kind of biryani vibes in a way.
It's exactly how you can understand it. Yeah, it's exactly like a biryani, but a bit more... Well, it's got beef in it, which a biryani wouldn't really have beef in it, would it?
I do like a good biryani as well.
But in Uzbekistan, plov is much more than just a food. It's like a festivity. It's like one of the things that you eat or that they eat on kind of like a celebration. So like a wedding, a birthday, national holiday,
Special
whatever it
occasion.
is. It's exactly, yeah. You're never just making like a single portion of plov. You make a big old pot of plov.
That could still be a single portion, though, for some people.
Well, for you.
For some people, yeah.
Oh, you have a party this weekend? No, I don't.
No. It's me. No.
This is a Tuesday night.
Wife's gone away.
I dunno.
Just a quiet weekend on my own.
quite weekend with my big fucking bowl of plov.
And you're not having any, so back off.
Yeah.
Be seeing you.
Be seeing you.
But no, the bowls that they make them in, the pots that they make them in, are large enough to bathe a small child in. They're big old pots.
Big old plov pot.
Big old plov pot. I think if plov were a character, if it created a character on a little fantasy RPG game, it would be the charismatic storyteller, be weaving tales of kind of ancient traders, bustling Silk Road caravans, and everything in between. It's steeped in history. So buckle up. Let's get into it, shall we? Let's get into the rich history, vibrant flavours, and the cultural significance of plov.
This is where I'd usually sing like a little song that's like something that I think's the sound of that nation.
Yep.
But really struggling
Go
to
on.
imagine anything for Uzbekistan at this point, with it being such an alien
I
concept to
think
me.
it's a bit of throat singing, if you've got that in your locker.
Plov.
Beautiful.
Plov.
Excellent.
Brilliant stuff.
Oh God.
Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, it looked like you're giving it some.
Yeah. They do over in Uzbekistan.
I have to read it every time. Oh dear.
Goodness.
Well, across Uzbekistan, the dish is, like I said, much more than just a food. It's like a rite of passage, a celebration on the plate, enjoyed from weddings to weeknights, and like I said, everything in between. It's very much like, well, it's like very cumin heavy, very cumin heavy. It's, obviously the tender meat that you've got in there, melting onions, spiced carrots, like I said. It is very much Uzbekistan's kind of national treasure. But in the other stands as well, they have their own version of it as well. So in Azerbaijan, in Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, they've all got kind of variations of the dish. But it is in Uzbekistan where the origins and the identity of the dish are thought to have been born.
Okay. I'm going to see a melting pot of different cultures coming together to make this.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. In 2016, plov was proudly danced its way into the UNESCO's Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity list,
Wow.
which
It's a bit of a mouthful,
Testament.
that one.
it's a bit of a mouthful. It doesn't roll off the tongue, that does it? It doesn't roll off like plov.
Yeah. They should have got some marketing help there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is this like category? Is it like an award or something?
Yeah, it's like a protection thing, I think. Like, this is definitely an Uzbekistani
Yeah.
creation.
Yeah, it's like-
It relates to their identity and their culture. I think
Yeah.
it's
Like champagne has to be from France and Parmesan from Italy. Plov has to be from Uzbekistan. Otherwise, it's not plov. It's something else.
It's like a testament to its cultural clout, I'd say.
Okay.
I managed to find like a really old Uzbek saying, and it goes as follows.
Again, unsure on the Uzbekistan accent.
I was going to say.
I'll give it a go. I'm thinking Russia, because that's just north. China is east, and like south and west is Middle East. So Russian, Chinese, Middle East, 3, 2, 1. If you're rich, eat plov. If you're poor, eat plov.
They just sound kind of like a bit Russian, really.
Yeah, it's definitely. Well, they speak Russian apparently.
Yeah, it used to be part of the USSR back in the day.
They speak Uzbek and a bit of Russian.
Yeah, this is like the whitest podcast episode we've ever done.
I know. We're usually a bit more cultured than this.
Yeah, but this is why we go into these far-flung areas.
Yeah. We're being brave so that you don't have to. We're making these cultural faux pas so you don't have to.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. If you're rich, eat plov. If you're poor, eat plov.
That's it. It's a dish for all. Rich in history and flavour. Everybody enjoys plov in Uzbekistan.
There's not much not to like. I mean, we have these dishes that come up time and time again, but rice, it's a staple in so many different cultures and parts of the world. We've got these spices. It's not a bland dish. You've got these different spices that are helping to add a plopper flavour. So yeah, not much not to like.
No, absolutely. And like you said, yeah, we've got, just to give another quick overview of the flavours, you've got, the rice, beef or lamb, usually beef, carrots, onions, and then cumin, like I said, super important. I think Uzbeki cumin is quite well renowned because obviously they've got the mountains, so I think it grows better there, or it has just a different flavour, a more kind of like authentic flavour straight from the mountains. And then you cook it basically all in the same pot as well, so the flavour just permeates through kind of every single ingredient within the dish.
Yeah. We do love a good one dish sort of going on.
One pot dish.
Easy on the washing.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
We love.
And like the rice just soaks up all of the the
juices,
the fat from the meat, all the juices from the veg and everything like that. Everything just kind of absorbs.
Comes back into the dish.
Exactly.
Adds on the flavour. Exactly. And also, like, it's not very processed, is it? Like, these are quite hearty, real, organic produce that are going into this. So there's no nasties. It's kind of all good ingredients cooking together to make a good dish.
Exactly. Very filling as well, and like very much captures the spirit of sharing, togetherness. You'd often pair it with like a little fresh tomato salad as well. Yeah. Now I'm going to make some. I've been inspired to make some. So keep an eye on the socials. We'll share some of our Plov creations.
Yeah.
Managed to find a lady called Caroline Eden, who is the author of Samarkand, which is a city in Uzbekistan. I think it's like the third largest city. She wrote a book called Samarkand, Recipes and Stories from Central Asia and the Caucasus. Again, not a great title. Doesn't really roll off the tongue, but does what it says on the tin. And she provides a really eloquent description of Plov, and it is as follows.
This is something mystical about Plov that elevates its taste above presentation. It is a shared obsession, generally served for lunch, representing hospitality, community, and identity.
I'm imagining ginger as anything, Caroline, in the middle of this Uzbeki city. Everybody's staring at her. And she's just like, what's that you've got there?
Yeah, I'm writing a book about food. What the hell is that? Talk me through it.
She's from Edinburgh, apparently. So...
Yeah, no, she is. She definitely is, maybe.
She is. I did my research.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Ah, there you go.
Tell you what.
Wow, he does it all.
He grinds for it. He grinds.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
Except for the Uzbek accent, which I did no preparation for, evidently.
No. Or just the country as a whole.
Yeah.
So we've got kind of the ingredients. We've got kind of like the general overview of the dish. Texturally, the dish offers really good contrast between like the fluffy, slightly crispy rice, because obviously you're cooking it until all the water evaporates, so you do get quite a decent crisp on it. But then you've also got the really tender pieces of meat that have been stewing for a while, and then you've got like the occasional crunch of the carrots and kind of softness of the chickpeas as well. So it's quite a balanced kind of textural experience.
I love it when the rice goes a little bit crispy. You know, when you kind of leave rice dishes to cook down, you kind of get that layer of crispy rice on the bottom.
Yeah.
Love that.
Have you ever seen that dish? I think it might be from maybe around this area of the world, or maybe like more Persian, but like you cook it in a big pot, and then you put the rice at the bottom, and then it's like kind of makes like a crispy shell right on the bottom. And then to serve it, you like grab the massive pot and you have to like turn it over and like tap it and then lift up the top, and then the top is all like super crispy
rice.
It's like a bit of a mound.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Can't remember where it's from though, that.
Nah, one of these stands, I reckon.
Yeah, it's one of these stands. With the meat that's going into plov, is it on the bone or is it kind of pieces of chopped meat?
Yeah, it's in chunks. Yeah, chunks.
Okay.
Like, I think the cooking video that I watched, the Uzbeki lady said no more than 5 centimetre chunks. Is that big?
5 centimetres?
Well,
it's like an inch, isn't it?
Maybe, yeah, about an inch. About an inch.
Yeah.
Yeah, about pretty sizable. But they're just going to melt down, aren't they? Because you're cooking them for so long.
Yeah.
That's 5 centimetres and an inch aren't the same thing.
Yeah, well, you round up. You round up.
Yeah, I'd say
round up, don't you?
an inch is about 2.5 centimetres, so it's about 2 inches. Anyway.
Yeah, so that's texture-wise. And then like taste-wise, you've kind of got like layers of different flavors. And you've got kind of like earthy flavors from the spices and kind of the vibrant flavors from there. And they've obviously got like the savory side of things as well from the meat. And then you've got the sweetness of the carrots kind of kicking in there as well. And then some people put in various other spices like cayenne pepper and chili pepper and stuff like that if they want a bit spicier. So again, yeah, really well balanced. Really, really like everything that I'm reading. Sounds great to me. I'd eat this regularly.
Yeah, I would.
Regularly. Now, given its kind of ancient origins, there is a lot of variations as well. Countless, actually, shaped by kind of local tastes, seasonal ingredients, local produce as well. Some common kind of additions include coriander, or you said chickpeas, garlic, barberries. Never heard of barberries before.
Yeah, I was going to say, what? Barberries.
Yeah, barberries. Raisins, quince, and then you might even find some people add in quail eggs and chestnuts as well.
Okay. This is feeling like quite Middle Eastern influences. They often put kind of dried fruits in rice dishes, don't they?
Yeah.
In the Middle East.
Yeah, exactly. I like a raisin in my curry, I think. So.
Yeah, no, in a biryani, nothing quite like it.
Yeah. I've
Yeah,
got one of the
yeah.
Ottolenghi cookbooks, and a lot of his food is kind of like modern twists on Middle Eastern cuisine, and a lot of his dishes have kind of like fruits in there. Yeah, raisins and sultanas and stuff.
I thought you were going to go, yeah, I've actually got a biryani here. I'm just going to...
Been waiting for an excuse to whip this one out.
Yeah, like on donuts when I had the donut.
Yeah,
pull out a plot.
Oh, yeah, every dish that we do, you've got to eat it.
Yeah,
I'd do like the Swedish fermented shark or something. That's what I'd do next.
yeah, just force me to have to crack that open. Yeah.
And sit here for an hour while we record, while it's just the whole gap just stinks.
No.
So over in the Fergana Valley.
Where now? Where's this? Somewhere else you've made up. Fergana. Where are we now?
Fergana. Fergana. Fergana.
Never heard of it.
Of course you haven't.
Doesn't mean it's not real, Miles. Oh, Fergana. What's happening there?
Yeah, well, they're dialing up the heat is what they're doing there. They're making their plov notably spicier, right?
Ooh,
Right.
love
Spicy.
that for them.
Meanwhile, in Bukhara, which is around 140 miles away from Samarkand,
You heard of that one, Milo? Or
Oh, yeah. That one I know all about.
each component of the plov is cooked separately and then assembled into precise layers like a lasagna.
But what about the melding of flavour while you cook? You missed this opportunity.
This is it. They believe this way is better.
What is the name of this place?
Bukhara.
Bukhara. Oh dear. It's got to stop. Come on.
Yeah, you've just offended probably about 280,000 people in Bukhara. Been a city since 850. It was the capital of the Samnid Empire, and you've just spit on them.
Oh dear.
Wow.
Oh dear. Wow.
Audio listeners wouldn't have known that he did a spit either there, so you've sold him up the river.
Straight to Persian prison for Miles.
Oh God.
Oh dear. Anyway.
It's a joke, you know. I've had to explain it, but I'm playing the role of someone who's ignorant. It's all part of the joke.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to need a bigger shovel.
Like we're playing Monopoly, and he's got his little get out of jail free card there.
Oh, anyway, so now you've got an idea as to what is going on with plov, what it is, what it tastes like, how it smells, what's the ingredients. Let's get into it. Let's get into why we're all here today. Let's get into the origins of this ancient dish. So plov may be a staple on today's Uzbek tables, but its roots reach back into the depths of history, intertwining with the destinies of empires and the lives of nomads within the region. So our journey begins not in the capital of Uzbekistan, which is Tashkent.
God, Milo.
One for you, Miles.
Milo would have known that.
I knew that one as well.
Or the storied streets of Samarkand, much further back in the ancient expanses of Persia. You see, it's here among these early civilizations where the first whispers of plov began. Plov, 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 plov. So the dish's ancestor was likely a really simple concoction of kind of boiled grains, modestly seasoned, and simply used as sustenance for Persian warriors. You know, these warriors will have been traversing super harsh terrains of Central Asia, marching
Thermopylae.
over the mountains, long ass marches, fucking hot as shit. It's warm.
Very warm. Very humid.
Yeah, probably never rains in the summer either. They need good scran. They need a good scran.
So are we in Uzbekistan at this point, or are we somewhere else here?
So we are in the region of Uzbekistan. Obviously, it wasn't called Uzbekistan at that point.
Right.
Will have just been the Persian Empire. Yeah, so these warriors would have been kind of marching through the area. They obviously would have come across nomadic tribes as well, and would have kind of intermingled with them, traded with them, and essentially gained confusion of kind of techniques and tastes from those local nomads as well, which is quite cool. And then kind of as time goes on, you've obviously got the Silk Road, and trade is again very much flourishing along this Silk Road, and this humble kind of grain dish, which was, like I said, very modestly seasoned, kind of no meat, no kind of the carrots and the onions and everything weren't really there yet. It starts to begin to absorb that influence from the traders and things on the Silk Road.
Picking up a few tricks along the way.
Yeah, exactly. Like someone's got a little bit of this spice, and someone's got a little bit of this herb, and a dried bit of this.
Someone's got a net of baby bells. Stick those in it.
Yeah,
Why not?
before you know it, these little additions are going in. Oh, that's nice, actually. That trader gave me a little bit of saffron. Just put that in.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, saffron, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it would have been saffron. But yeah, no, you're right. It's like a myriad of cultures all kind of coming together, trafficking various kind of different spices, meats, vegetables along this ancient kind of superhighway. So the first kind of founder of Plov is actually suggested to be Alexander the Great himself.
Oh my goodness. He's only gone and done another thing.
From 356 to 323 BC. So didn't live very long, Mr. Alexander, but he was busy.
Yeah, he was.
busy during his time.
Live fast, die young, innit?
That's it, mate.
Forever
So he's-
young, I wanna be forever young. Eating plov in Uzbekistan with Alexander.
Might not have an Uzbeki accent in his locker, but he does have some chords.
Uzbekistan, Uzbekistan, Uzbekistan. I'm having plov for tea tonight.
Mr. Hudson himself.
Wow,
Beautiful.
there he is.
That was beautiful. I've actually got a bit of a tear in my eye. That's really
Let's
special.
just settle down after all that excitement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the Jay-Z bit to come in.
Yeah.
Now we live in life in Uzbekistan, where the sun is always out and the plov is always warm.
All right, we'll get that remix up, and we'll tag that on as
Get that
a little
SoundCloud.
extra for this episode. Yeah, enjoy that. Let's get it charted.
The food album.
Yeah. So yeah, Alexander the Great, credited with commanding his cooks. So the way that he's kind of attributed to the invention of Plov is that he commanded his cooks to invent a meal that was so hearty his troops could eat just once a day but feel full the entire day.
Whoa,
That's kind of the
It's a bit of a
thought
cheat
behind it.
code, isn't it?
When Alexander visited the province of Bactria, which is kind of eastern Iran, shout out Total War, Rome, I think.
Bactria, some real good elephants, some good war elephants from there.
Was it?
Yeah,
Real
real good
good.
tusks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was reportedly served a plov at like a royal banquet, or it was possibly at a royal banquet to celebrate the capture of the Sogdian capital of Marakanda, which is known today as Samarkand, which is the third largest Uzbeki city, I think.
A lot of history in the area.
So yeah, it said that the soldiers of Alexander the Great then brought the method of preparation for Plov back to Macedonia with them. And then this method kind of spread throughout Greece and obviously kind of the rest of the regions where the Macedonians conquered, which was kind of Uzbekistan, Tajikistan.
Quite a fucking lot of area.
Yeah, big lot of areas.
They don't call him the average, do they? They don't call him the average. That's all I'll say.
They don't.
No. Yeah, I mean, if you ask me, I don't know. I don't really buy it. I don't really think it's that likely.
What, you think it's just Alexander wanting to have a bit more kudos?
Yeah, I think so.
Than he deserves.
I think so. He never actually claimed that he did it, but I think historians have just kind of jumped the gun a little bit and just thought,
He was
nice
in there
story.
at that time, and he's moved around a lot.
exactly.
Maybe he took it.
yeah, exactly right. And I'm not alone here. Nilufar Nuridinova, nailed that, I think. Nilufar Nuridinova. It kind of sounds like a randomly generated name you'd get on like Oblivion, Skyrim.
Yeah, exactly. Or it's just something you've made up. I'm starting to think this whole thing is just like April Fools.
Yeah, just rattling off made up names.
Like,
Even the name of the dish, Plov.
At the end of the episode. Jokes, Miles. You believed us for an hour.
Imagine. Literally, me and Andy have been like, right, how few letters can we use for a dish and it's still believable? I think 4 is the minimum, mate.
That's funny. Yeah.
It's not even April. Yeah, I know, it's delayed. That was really funny, boys. Really wasted an hour and a half of my life.
yeah.
Only joking. No, it's a real name. Nullifar Niridinova.
Yeah, spot on, mate.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Well, anyway, Nilufar is an Uzbeki tour guide, and he thinks it's along the same lines as me in terms of Alexander's contribution to it. This is what he has to say.
We don't have historical records to prove that. What we do know is that in the 9th and 10th centuries, Plov had become very popular here. Rice has been staple crop in this region for more than 1,000 years. It requires hard physical work to grow, as does harvesting crops and raising livestock. So, plov would have been an ideal high-calorie, nutrient-rich dish for the largely agricultural society.
Nice. Yeah, you chewed on all those words, but you got them out. Nice. Yeah, player of the season for that one. Brilliant stuff. But yeah, there you go. Nilufar says it there. So rice became a staple crop around 1,000 years ago. So that's like turn of the century.
And it requires hard physical work to grow, as does harvesting crops and raising livestock. So plov would have been an ideal high-calorie, nutrient-rich dish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like a farmer with his stew.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like rice back in the day was a bit of a luxury, whereas kind of around this time where it starts to become a bit more stable in the area, it starts to become more prominent and it starts to become more readily available to people.
Especially in this time as well. Like, I guess people were still dealing with hunger in large parts of the world at this point, and
getting a calorie dense meal was just a lot harder.
But rice kind of just fills that void like that, doesn't it?
Fills it. Yeah, it does.
Big bowl of rice, and you kind of set on. You've got slow releasing carbohydrates. You shove a little bit of protein in there from some animal. You just and yeah, you're good.
Away you go. So it's very much kind of during these times where plov kind of really starts to truly take the shape of how it is recognized today. You know, rice isn't just a component in this dish; it's the star of the dish. It's obviously accompanied by the rich meats and the vibrant spices, but it's the star of the show. And then, so saffron is included and turmeric as well, brought from, because this area starts to become quite Islamic at this time. You got the spread of Islam in like the 8th century. So you've got all these kind of Islamic empires coming together, and the trade of all these really kind of potent spices is becoming a lot more modern and a lot more common.
Yeah, that's interesting. And things like saffron as well kind of like transform an entire dish, don't they? Especially a rice dish where a little bit, once it's in that pot and it's all being steamed together and it's releasing all those oils and everything's kind of molding together, a little bit of a spice like that kind of penetrates an entire dish when it's made with rice, doesn't it? So a little bit kind of goes a long way with dishes like this made with rice.
Yeah, no, for sure. So the first known kind of modern documentation that we have of plov is credited to a 10th century Persian scholar by the name of Abu Ali ibn Sena, who is also known as Avicenna, or aka the father of plov, which is what we're going to call him from now on.
The father of plov.
Dog.
Daddy plov. So this bloke, like I said, was a scholar, and he used to write a lot of medical books. Within his medical books, he used to include recipes, which seems mad. Imagine getting like a children's pediatric book and there's like a smash burger recipe at the back.
Smash burger recipe at the back. Feeling really bad. Fucking make yourself a smash burger.
Yeah. Get that grill ready.
Yeah, if none of this works, just make yourself a smash burger. Oh, it's true though, food heals.
Food heals, yeah, it does.
Dead right.
So Uzbeks and Tajiks consider him like the father of kind of modern plov, and he's very much kind of credited like the first mention of it. I couldn't really find any more info on this bloke other than he was a scholar, he wrote loads of different books, but no more kind of relations with plov apart from that kind of first mention.
Yeah.
I did manage to find a little bit of the story that he wrote about when it comes to, it's weird. So he wrote the recipe, but then I think he also wrote like a little bit of a story about the recipe and how the dish first originated. I think it's maybe like a bit of a scholarly thing to do to like...
Yeah, a bit of lore.
Heal. Yeah, exactly.
Lore of the dish.
Exactly. So the story goes that a prince fell in love with a beautiful, poor girl. He was forbidden from marrying her. So then he went on hunger strike. He gave up on food and started fading away. The king, which was his father, obviously, invited father of Plov, Daddy Plov, to cure the prince. Get Daddy Plov on the phone.
Get the
What is he like?
Yeah.
Doing it again. Get Daddy Plov on the phone. He'll sort him right out.
He'll be a doctor as well, so he'll be Dr. Daddy Plov.
Daddy Plov. We can't.
Oh, it's outrageous. That is outrageous.
So what? He's like, my son is kind of wasting away. He can't marry the woman that he wants. We need some Plov up in this bitch.
I think those were probably his exact words. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So the great doctor, Dr. Daddy Plov, suggested that the prince feed the couples a dish rich in love. And that will cure this whole predicament. I'm not really sure how though, because he's forbidden by the father. So I'm not really sure how feeding those two are already in love. You don't need to get those.
The problem is that there's love. We actually need a dish to remove love.
I want a dish full of hate.
Yeah. Make them hate each other.
Spite.
Yeah.
So you need to feed them this dish, and essentially this dish needs to be made of. Bear with me here, right? So it's 7 ingredients, and this is where Plov gets its name from. Okay, I'm going to be talking Persian. I'm going to be talking old fucking Uzbeki, all sorts. Okay, so it's made of 7 ingredients. The full name of it is Osh Palov. So you've got
Osh Pavlov Palov. Is that right?
No. It's just Osh Plov. I just misspoke.
Oh, right.
He just misspoke and you just went at
Osh Palov Plov.
Osh my gosh, Plov.
It does sound like a wind up. The more we talk about it.
Osh my gosh, Plosh.
You're really testing my fucking sense of the world around me here. I'm like, Osh Plov, like Uzbekistan. What's going on? Oh, God. Osh Plov.
Oh, dear.
Fucking Daddy Plov.
It's like an episode of Twilight Zone or something for Milo. This.
Christ, I've never heard of such shite in my life. Honest to God.
Oh, dear.
Right, what's going on now? Osh Plov, Daddy Plov. Come on.
Got me choking on my what?
Osh Plov, Daddy Plov. God. Big place, the world, isn't it? Lot going on in there.
Yeah.
So much.
There's all.
Yeah. Anyway, right. So this variety of plov is called plovosh. Okay.
Plov off.
Right. And the reason it's called plovosh is because you've got P for pioz, which is onion in Persian.
I know that we've got Persian listeners that are going to be absolutely listening to every second here.
I know. I've thought about that as I was reading it. This story I've literally taken from another article, so don't blame me.
Okay.
That's
well,
me.
off you go.
Don't shoot the messenger. Probably butchered it. Anyway, so you got the pioz, which is onion, hence the P, plov. Yeah, plov.
I'm with you.
You've got lamb. Lamh, which is meat, not an actual lamb. We call it a lamb.
Deeply confusing.
That's
I ordered it with
different
lamb.
language. It's a different language.
Okay.
Deeply confusing. He's seriously unsettled. Look at him.
You've got the O, so we're on PL. It's like a game of skate. We're playing Tony Hawk's right now. So
I was
we've got
gonna
the
say.
PL, and then we've got the O, which is for oleo, which is like fat or oil. Simple. Okay. That's you. Yeah, agreeable. And then you've got the V, which is for vet or salt, so plov. And then you've got O, which is for ob, which is water in Persian. That's another ingredient. Okay. And then the SH is for sholi, which is rice.
Why did the last one get 2 letters? What's that about? All into doubt
Hey,
now.
blame Dr. Daddy Plov for this. I didn't come up with this story. This is his, like, it didn't make sense from the beginning when he was talking about feeding a dish that's going to turn people
To lovers.
to be in love. Yeah.
What kind
Shit,
of scholar is this man? Because he does
Shit,
sound
doctor.
like a good scholar.
No.
Maybe it's just not translated very well. And
That could be the issues we're facing.
yeah, and it's just it sounds way more
Farcical.
No, not the word I was looking for. It just sounds way better in Persian. Farcical's like negative.
Yeah, it sounds way more farcical than it should be.
I think maybe the way I delivered it. Yeah. Oh dear, let's quickly move on, shall we? So, moving to the 14th century, we have got a bloke, you probably have heard of him. He's called Timur, and he's commonly known in the West as Tamerlane. Have you heard of Tamerlane before?
It rings a bell.
Yeah.
Tamerlane.
It's surprising for you, that, Miles, because he comes from this part of the world.
Timur.
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it somewhere. Couldn't tell you
this guy,
a single thing about the man.
Yeah, interesting dude. So he's a guy who really looms large in kind of the annals of history, not just for his military conquests, but also for his complex legacy that kind of includes culinary traditions that he influenced, such as Plov. So he was born in 1336 in Uzbekistan, and he rose from the ranks of a minor tribal leader to establish one of the most powerful empires in the medieval world, stretching all the way from India to Turkey.
And I bet it was all fueled by bloody Plov.
Yeah, it was. It absolutely was. He was a brilliant strategist, a ruthless leader. He was known for his ferocity in battle and was referred to, this is cool as fuck, referred to as the Sword of Islam by historians.
Wow.
The Sword of Islam.
The Sword of Islam. Yeah, very cool. He often used psychological tactics like building towers from the skulls of his defeated enemies to instill terror on those that are left standing.
Jesus.
And he was never defeated in battle, ever. Never lost a single battle in his life.
Wow.
Wow.
This guy's a unit.
The Sword of Islam stayed sharp.
It did. It did. Despite this, though, despite his reputation for brutality, he was also a patron of the arts and architecture. And he transformed his capital, which was Samarkand, into a vibrant cultural hub filled with scholars, artists, and craftsmen. Like a really weirdly balanced fellow for how horrendous he was on the battlefield.
Like on a Tuesday, he's making towers of schools to scare enemies. And then on a Wednesday, he's making like a nice little bathing pond for the children of the town.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite a contrast, isn't it?
Yeah.
Interesting bloke. Yeah, like I said, his kind of conquests across these diverse lands brought in various culinary traditions into Central Asia, which were then absorbed into the local food customs. His armies are sweeping across the territories, are encountering loads of different cooking styles, ingredients, dishes, and kind of taking the ones that they like, bringing them back home. Yeah, and one of those was Plov. Like obviously the dish is kind of spread through the region at this point in time, when we start to see these new types kind of cropping up in these various areas of Uzbekistan and beyond.
Yeah.
So kind of under Tamerlane's or within Tamerlane's era, it becomes more than just a staple diet. For his armies, it's simplified like a unifying element amid the kind of diverse cultures within his empire.
So we're starting to see it here become like a national dish almost.
Exactly
at this point.
right. Yeah, exactly right. And this is like in like the 14th century. This is like super early that it starts to gain that kind of natural national identity, which is really cool.
Testament to the success of the dish. Like all these Uzbekistan people. Well, I don't think it is Uzbekistan at this point, is it? Still, we're way further back than that, aren't we?
At this point, yeah, we're not Uzbekistan at this point. Yeah,
but whatever this place was called, the people feel like the dish is good enough to kind of put their name to and to be proud about it at this point.
For sure. And then obviously, with the Silk Road again, kind of still active. You've got the various different spices and the meats from the Persian highland all coming through. And it obviously fed his vast armies, but like I said, but it also kind of served as like, they served it within like lavish feasts as well. So it was kind of like a dish for any occasion,
right?
Which was quite cool. And then like the more grander ingredients that you included, the more that demonstrated your wealth, like the level of wealth and the power.
Yeah, it's like how much you can pimp your Plov.
Pimp my Plov.
Yeah.
Pimp my Plov.
Oh, this person's got such a way to show off, isn't it? Even on like a logistical point, these big rice dishes that you make in big batches are great for parties, aren't they? You're not having to faff with individual portions that are fiddly. Nope. You just have one big Plov, you make it in batch, and everyone's happy. Everyone has as much as they want, and back to the dance floor.
To the dance floor.
Family style dining.
Yeah, exactly.
Plov on the dance floor. Better not kill the Plov, DJ, because the Plov's coming around and run down.
It's a very musical episode, this. Very musical.
It's got music in me tonight. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, just jazz hands. There he goes.
Let us know if you want that to become a permanent fixture of episodes going forward. Little Milo's musical moment.
Music corner.
God, I'm already doing enough silly shit on this. Don't need to add musicals.
That's why we love you, mate.
Yeah, we're not doing quotes anymore. We're just doing musical numbers.
So I managed to find a pretty cool story involving Tamerlane. Whilst he was planning an assault on Ankara, he was grappling with kind of several seemingly contradictory factors, including a large army, long distance, fast movement. He wanted a swift attack, and obviously he needed to transport supplies to the army and keep his army well stocked. It is said that one of his advisors told him about a wonderfully delicious and nourishing dish, instructing him to...
Oh, is this one of the generals, it says here?
This is one of Tamerlane's generals. Yeah.
Okay.
Take a big iron bowl. It should be old and well used. Add meat from a ram that is not too young and not too old. Just right. Some of the best rice. Young carrots. And the bitter onions that sting as strong as a mere sword. Cook it until Allah himself smells the aroma and the cook falls unconscious, overwhelmed with the taste of the divine dish.
Wow, okay.
Yeah,
take a big iron bowl as old, old and well used.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you want
Add
one
meat
that's
from a
been flavoured, innit?
Been well seasoned. Add meat from a ram that's not too young or not too old. So the best rice, young carrots, and bitter onions that sting as strong as a mare's sword. I mean, you are feeding soldiers here. They want strong flavours. They want an assault on the taste buds. They don't want, something plain, do they? Cook it till Allah himself smells the aroma.
That's cool, isn't it? It's a cool line.
Wow.
It's a very well written piece, I think.
Yeah.
Start to finish.
Yeah, it is.
Very well. Cultured man. The legend says that even a small bowl of plov gave Tamerlane's warriors strength for several days, and it became the main food of his army and helped achieve countless victories. I mean, the guy was undefeated, right? So
I think this was his secret, How many other armies were marching off Plov?
Exactly, my friend.
So the steroids of medieval times.
Yeah. Yeah. When you're in a war, you're looking for any which way that's going to give you the competitive edge, however big or small. Actually, a bowl of a nutritious meal that's got more carbohydrates in it than the other army. Yeah, maybe it's a small win on that specific front, but multiplied across the course of an entire army, it's a big difference.
Margins in war.
Big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as the dust settled from the era of Tamerlane, the culinary seeds he sowed.
Sowed.
Oh, it's one of those ones.
Sowed. He sowed. The culinary seeds he sowed began to sprout and weave their way through the fabric of Central Asian society. Enriched Plov, which was enriched by the myriad of influences of Tamerlane's vast empire, continued to evolve, adapting to the changing tastes and resources of the region. Obviously, rice is obviously a staple, kind of 300 years into when Tamerlane kind of came on the scene. But, you've got other ingredients now starting to be more resourceful, they're more available. Globalization is increasing, trade is becoming easier, transportation is becoming easier. So there's just obviously more going around. That Silk Road is still widely used, connecting the East and the West, a massive kind of artery through the world, I suppose. Ingredients and kind of culinary practices continuing to flow freely through that area.
It's a landlocked country, isn't it? So it's got countries around every side of it. So traffic from all these different cultures and these different countries coming in and impacting it.
Yeah.
We're
exactly.
quite, as an island in England, we're quite isolated. So we don't, that's why our cuisine doesn't have as many different influences to it. That's why we're kind of known for having such a basic cuisine, really, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we've not got shit like cardamom and nutmeg just growing, do we? We just don't have any of that stuff nearby.
No.
We've got like wild garlic and
nettles for nettle tea.
Nettles, exactly.
Well, I guess that's why things like the East India Trading Company and the British Navy was so utilised at that time as well to try and bring in that stuff that we kind of needed to diversify our cuisine back then. We kind of put a lot of effort and money into bringing stuff in and shipping stuff in, didn't we?
Yeah, no, sure.
Nothing like a little bit of good old colonialism to get your nice tasting scran.
Yeah, but these countries wouldn't have needed to do it because they just had people coming in, just naturally wandering over.
I don't think we can use our inability to grow herbs as an excuse for it all. But if you want, to give it a
go, we needed nutmeg. Okay.
Yeah, we couldn't grow it ourselves. We had to take it from you and enslave you.
What did you want us to do? Sit here with bland dishes? You joking?
joking.
So after Timur's empire waned, the Ottoman Empire took up the mantle of cultural and culinary influence in the region. The Ottomans, they introduced a variety of new kind of culinary techniques and ingredients. And again, this kind of further diversity, like plov is very much a dish built upon a dish, built upon a dish, built upon a dish.
Yeah.
All kind of intertwined through various empires that have risen and fallen through its existence. And the fact that it's been around for like we said, it's super basic dish, right? It's got like 7 ingredients really. It will have been around forever.
Yeah, it stood the test of time, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And because it's been around forever, there's been so much like experimentation, adaptation, and like all that sort of stuff. Every new person on the block. Yeah, exactly. Every new person on the block comes along and just throws in a little oregano leaf, little pork neck.
Nice. Yeah.
I don't know. Oregano and pork neck, I don't know were the only ingredients I could come up with.
How is pork neck at the top of your list?
Oregano and pork neck.
Yeah,
you've got carnitas tacos on the mind, haven't you?
Yeah, just thinking about a bit of pig.
Yeah.
But the Ottomans, so they brought with them like the sophisticated kind of spices of the Middle East. Like your za'atar, your more fragranty kind of spices, which again further enriched that kind of flavor profile of plov. Under the Ottomans, it became much more of a common dish to be served in kind of festive occasions and like a symbol of hospitality. So like if you were having a large gathering, for example, you'd serve a plov just because like you said, it's perfect for those gatherings, right? It's perfect for weddings, religious festivals, family gatherings, just because it's super simple to make. You don't have to, it's not risotto. You're not fucking sat there stirring it all the time. You put it all in a pot. You brown the mince, the meat. You put it all in a pot, rice on top, and you just add the water and just let it do its thing.
And the kind of social aspect of it, when it's done, it's presented, everyone comes out, probably a little round of applause to whoever brings the big bowl out, middle of the table. It's all presented nicely. We can all talk whilst we're, yeah. So it's the kind of social aspect of it. It's like a communal meal, isn't it?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Good for parties.
It's also the Ottomans that can take credit for serving side dishes like yogurts and kind of the tomato-y salad that we mentioned earlier. It's these guys that are credited with adding the sides, I suppose, to plov.
Yeah. Because sometimes with like biryani, you have like a bit of raita, that kind of like cooling yogurt.
I rate it, yeah.
I see what you did there. That can kind of cut through the meatiness of a biryani. So I'm guessing that we're kind of doing a similar thing with these sides. Things that can kind of cut through the richness of it.
So one of the things about plov is that it's traditionally often made by men. I think it's a bit of a hark back to the fact that it was used to feed armies.
Right.
So it's always traditionally been made by men. There obviously women do make it. I'm not saying that like it's illegal for women to make plov.
Get off.
It's just mental. Yeah. Straight to jail, straight to gulag.
Yeah.
And when the Soviet era comes in, the men are forced to work, so the women have to make it. But traditionally, it's men who make plov.
Yeah.
And I think, one of the main reasons for that is because the pots are fucking so big, right? They're just, you need like a proper strength to be able to stir things around.
What are you saying, women a week, mate? It's 2024.
When it comes to plov, they've not got the muscles to handle plov.
Because I've seen some pictures of it. They've got big wooden spoons in like a big cauldron, and they're having to do a lot of, because when rice starts absorbing that water, it gets very heavy, very viscous, and it takes a certain strength to stir that bad boy.
So Damira Inatulaeva, I think I said it better the first time. She's a proud Uzbekistan native. She lives in New York, and I managed to find an interview from her in 2023. I think we've got a couple of quotes from her, but the first one is, it just kind of reiterates that point that it's often the men who are the custodians of plov making.
Our tradition is that men cook plov.
Simple quote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So further on in the interview, Damira like fondly remembers like the communal cooking sessions in her family. And although she wasn't formally taught how to make plov by her parents or grandparents, like they just didn't teach her. Instead, she acquired the skills from her husband and kind of underscored that gender specific role. But,
I imagine at
yeah,
these parties then, it's kind of like in the same way that when we have a barbecue, you know, the dads might be stood over the barbecue grilling the meat whilst the women are maybe doing another job. And it's like they're almost doing the equivalent here. The men will come to the party and will make the plov and have a little boys sesh making plov.
Yeah.
And the women will do something else.
Plov is for the boys.
You've got your father-in-law, you know, and you're having like a catch-up and I want to marry your daughter.
Come on, Terry, go over here. Have a look at the plov. Come on with the boys.
oh, that's some good plov, that. Cardamom, nutmeg, pig's neck. Good.
Good.
But, you know, the boys might be having their boys' conversations over the big cauldron of plov. So, yeah, it's quite a nice thing, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, it does change slightly during the Soviet era, as I said. So I managed to find, we're going to go back to Caroline Eden, because in her book, she mentions this about when the Soviets entered the scene.
During the Soviet era, women took over most of the cooking, but master plov chefs known as ofas are often male. At weddings, birthday parties, and during the holidays, the most skilled ofas can serve hundreds of people from a single kazan.
Wow.
Kazan is the pot.
That's the big steel pot. Right, okay. So, yeah, during the Soviet era, the women took over the most of the cooking because, as you said, Andy, the men are off fighting the war. But then there's still like these artisan, professional, skilled offas, these guys who make plov.
Yeah, not just necessarily fighting the war as well, but just like working, because obviously everyone's got to chip in, right? So
yeah, just like the balance of society has shifted a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And it was also during the Soviet era that plov was kind of truly institutionalized as part of Uzbeki national identity. Obviously, it's been a part of their culture forever, but like the Soviet government really promoted plov as like a quintessentially Uzbeki dish and kind of used it to symbolize the unity and distinctiveness of the Uzbeki SSR with the broader kind of Soviet mosaic. So again, kind of used the dish to like link all of the countries around it together and bring it under kind of one unified empire.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, as a government, you're looking for things like that, aren't you? You want people to all
tap into
gel together. Yeah. So it's like, guys, like, you know, you all have a claim on this dish. You guys are the ones that introduced this part. You guys introduced this part. It's for everyone. We've all made it together, and let's use that as a metaphor for our culmination of efforts. Why not?
Yeah, no, definitely. Like there were already like massive plov cookouts became like a, you know, they were already like a common feature for, like I said, the public celebrations, but they became like a feature at like state functions as well. And really kind of like really became more prominent within like Soviet communal life. Yeah, like you said, it was perfect for them just to tap into it and promote it. Interesting little journey. So turning to the more modern side of things, just to finish up. So the modern kind of crown jewel of Uzbekistan's plov scene, I managed to find a really interesting article about a restaurant called Besh Quazon. Quazon. Qozon. I think. Quazon.
Okay, where's this place?
So it is in Tashkent, it's the capital city. It's also known as a Central Asian Plov Centre, which has not got the same ring to it.
Central Asian Plov Centre. Wow.
Yeah,
I think stick with the Besh Quazon. At least that's got a little bit of mystery to it.
Yeah, bit of something to it, doesn't it?
Plov Warehouse. You might as well go with.
Get yourself down to Plov Warehouse. Still gotta go.
Plov bargains. Yeah.
You need a bit of a lure with a restaurant name, don't you? You can't just have like Plov House.
Yeah, brilliant. Plov House is nestled in Yunusobod, which is a district in Tashkent, and it is renowned as like one of the largest plov-centric eateries in Central Asia. It's fucking huge, and it caters between 5,000 and 8,000 people daily.
Wow.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. So their plov is prepared in like 9 enormous kazans. Like
You're going to say immortal.
Immortal kazan is immortal. Enormous kazans. And each of them are fueled by wood fires as well.
Ooh.
Which again helps to lend like a unique kind of smoky flavour to the dish. Yeah, now your taste buds are going, aren't they, boys? So yeah, that's the setup. One kind of vital component of this culinary experience is the traditional Uzbek bread, which is expertly crafted by Beshkwazon's resident nonvoy. These are all names that describe like the roles that they partake
Okay,
in.
so the bread maker is
kitchen.
the non-voy.
The nonvoy, yep.
Okay.
So he gets in the morning. He adheres to time-honoured ritual in which he purifies himself and seeks divine guidance through a dua or a blessing before commencing his day's work.
Wow. Okay.
It's like a very spiritual, very deeply spiritual, this thing. So he blesses himself, seeks divine guidance, and then he starts work. And on a typical day, this guy produces over 3,000 loaves of bread. How many did you make in your days as a baker, Miles, on a day-to-day basis? Go on.
Tinned loaves, maybe 35. But I was making lots of other stuff as well, though.
Okay. So in total, how many baked goods do you think you made in a day?
Probably like, I don't know. Are we counting baguettes here as well?
Yeah, okay. Some baked good in it, lad.
Of course we're counting baguettes, mate.
Nah, you can't have baguettes. Nah, it's not fair.
No, that silly French business.
Maybe like 500, 400, 500.
Wow.
Okay.
Rookie numbers, man.
And you had a team as well, like you wouldn't just.
I had a big machine for a lot of it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
This guy's doing 3,000 pretty much by hand.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he's prayed, though.
What did you do? Just kind of monster. That was your blessing.
Yeah. I had a kind of white ultra, and that was that.
The oshpaz at Beshkwazon is a bloke called Feyzullah Sagdiev.
Nice. Sounded right.
Yeah, Feyzullah Sagdiev.
Made-up place.
He oversees the preparation of the plov in all the kazans, all 9 kazans, and each kazan can hold up to 3 tons of food.
3 tons.
Actually, I think in total they hold up to 3 tons. Because if there's, that'd be mental, wouldn't it? If there's 9 of them and they each hold 3 tons.
27 tons of plov knocking about the gap.
We have mule to stir the plov.
Yeah, I suppose 8,000 people. How many tons of food do you reckon? 8,000 people. Nah, it's just a lot in it.
27.
What's 27 divided by 8,000? We'll do some quick maths.
God.
Barely got to see.
Barely got to see.
All right. Okay. Well, maybe it's 3 tons in total then, but that's still a shit ton of food, right?
I think that it'd be 33 kilograms of plov per person.
That's a lot, isn't it?
33 kilograms of plov.
That's a lot.
How many people?
And there's 8,000 people that are coming through and scranning that much.
There's just people passed out all over the shop.
Big buckets of plov.
Oh,
God.
Yeah, I think 3 tons in total, not 3 tons per kazan. That's mental, yeah.
I know it's nice, but come on.
Yeah, come on. Don't need that much, lads. Come on.
No.
Anyway, Fazula. So yeah, Miles, to your point, he shares that kind of beyond the physical labour of creating the dish, there's like immense pressure to perfect it as well. Because like you said, people are coming far and wide to visit this place. And a guest not finishing their plate, despite it being 40 odd kilograms, could be a great dishonour.
So it's culturally offensive to not finish.
Yeah,
Imagine
imagine
giving out 38 kilograms.
and you can't leave until it's gone.
And he's a big lad. He's been mixing tons of rice. So he's huge. He's walking around like, you're not going to disrespect me, are you? Now I'm 30 kgs in and I'll keep going, son. Don't worry.
Yeah. That's a concoction of a horrible time, that.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
God.
wild.
Oh.
You only have plov once in your life.
Yeah, you never go back to that place.
You have 34 kilograms of it and never again.
Yeah. No, but it could. If people leave it and people are not satisfied, it could bring great dishonour, as Feyzullah mentions here.
Such an outcome is considered so disgraceful that it could lead an offers to consider extreme measures. Thankfully, I've never faced such a situation.
Quite threatening, that, isn't it?
What does he mean by extreme measures?
Yeah, it sounds like he might be up for a bit of murder or something even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scrap.
Such an outcome is considered so disgraceful that it could lead an offers to consider extreme measures. Does he mean kill someone else or kill himself?
Ooh.
I don't know. Who knows? But the way they craft their plov at Beshkazon, it's kind of similar to how we've ran through it before, but they meticulously brown the meat. They typically use like a hearty mix of mutton and beef. They then layer in the white onion and obviously the carrots.
It's a bitter white onion.
Bitter. Very bitter. Apparently they also put in white carrots. Never really seen white carrots before.
Carrots used to be
Lots of
purple, didn't they? Back in the day. It didn't used to be orange.
They did. Yeah.
Isn't a white carrot
there's
basically
carrot.
a parsnip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Although you wouldn't eat
Dunno.
a parsnip raw, would you? You'd eat carrot raw, but I'm not sure
Yeah,
I've ever eaten
no.
a parsnip raw. Can you
No.
eat parsnips raw? Nah, you can't, can you?
Nah.
Veg.
Save that for the donkeys.
White carrot. Interesting.
White carrot, yeah. Sounds like a SoundCloud rapper, doesn't it? White carrot.
Little white carrot.
A little white
Green
carrot.
hair.
A little top knot.
little green top knot. He's well tanned.
Top knot, yeah. Nah, he's dead pasty. Really,
Yeah, he's
really white.
pasty. It's a little white carrot.
He's not orange. Is he?
And then, then the rice, then the water, and then the carefully selected array of spices. Fezula favours a blend of salt, pepper, turmeric, and predominantly cumin, which historically made its way all the way to Uzbekistan from India by the Silk Road.
And this is the good shit cumin, isn't it? That you were
This
talking
is the
about
good. Yeah, this is the Hindu Kush cumin. Yeah.
Yeah.
A distinctive kind of local flourish that these guys do that most people don't do is they add chickpeas combined with kishmish, which is another word that I've just made up. But it's it's a type of sour raisin. I'd never heard of it before. It's a type of sour raisin.
before. Little pops of sourness in there.
Yeah, slow cooked in there. So the whole dish cooks for 4 hours, I think. But yeah, kishmish. Never heard of it.
Kishmish.
Kishmish. So in the modern Uzbekistan, Thursdays and Sundays have emerged as like traditional plov days.
Obviously.
Which, obviously, why not? Well, it's like you have fish and chips on a Friday, don't you? What do you mean?
Yeah.
have
But
days
there's a
during
reason
the
behind
days.
that. Is there?
Yeah, Good Friday. Don't eat meat on a Friday if you love God.
There is. It's rooted in historical routines, as our friend Nilufar, the Uzbek tour guide, explains.
Historically, people from the countryside would visit city bazaars to sell their goods twice a week. These were the days they had enough money to purchase all the ingredients needed for making plov.
There you go.
Oh, so it's just got a little bit of. It's not not religious there, is it? It's just people sell their goods at the
practical.
market on those days, and they've got the money. It's like payday, so let's make some plov on payday.
Yeah, that bit there, but there is a bit of a religious tie-in with it.
Okay.
So Fazula notes that plov's popularity on Thursdays also ties into it's got a bit of a reputation actually of being a bit of an aphrodisiac,
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, okay.
which is a bit of a curveball. Not sure
Let's get it out.
would not want to be doing that after 38 kilograms.
I was going to
of,
say, sounds stodgy.
but this kind of aphrodisiac quality makes it an ideal for what is considered a favourable day of conception, which is a Thursday.
Right.
So it's customary to reserve the best cuts of meat for Thursdays to allegedly enhance the virility of male patrons. This whole belief, by the way, is an auspicious kind of nature that's really kind of deeply intertwined with Islamic faith.
Okay.
So a really good description of this is given by Fezula, and he outlines it as...
It is said that the Prophet Muhammad was conceived on a Thursday. So if you aspire for your child to be intelligent, well-mannered, blessed by angels, and receptive to divine wisdom, conceiving on a Thursday might right after a nourishing plate of plov is thought to be most auspicious.
There you go. That's the story behind it. Prophet Muhammad was conceived on a Thursday. So
If you want your child to have Prophet Muhammad similarities, then
yeah,
have sex and then conceive on a Thursday.
and eat plov. Don't forget the plov.
And it's all about the plov. Yeah, after a nourishing plate of plov. I don't know. I feel like nice, light, summery dishes are conducive to,
Yeah.
that rather than
Like what?
like a caprese salad, a tuna niswa. Actually, no, tuna breath, maybe not.
I was going to say.
So conceive on a Thursday, right after. He even says right after. Like,
Right after.
dish out the way, pants down, still chewing it.
Mutton in between your teeth. Still ready to
Yeah.
go.
Oh, outrageous. Outrageous.
Plov, plov, plov. Yeah.
Plov,
There you
plov,
have it.
plov.
The history of plov, eh? The dish that we knew nothing about. Well, I knew nothing about. These two definitely didn't know nothing
Zero.
about
Didn't.
it. Be interesting to know if any of our listeners knew about plov beforehand, or pilaf for the
Yeah.
Westerners. Yeah, real deep dive, I think, into the rich and savoury worlds of Uzbekistan's culinary masterpiece.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
from its ancient origins along the Silk Road to its elevation under the Tamerlane, and you know, it's really kind of journeyed through time, carrying with it the flavors and traditions of countless cultures and generations. We've seen that the process of making plov is an art form steeped in real ritual and tradition, and it really reflects like the meticulous care and respect that goes into every kazam. It's a dish that can feed a crowd, celebrate life's milestones, and can even carry whispers of ancient beliefs about prosperity and fertility.
Wow.
Sex on a Thursday. There you go, Plov.
There you have it.
There you
An
go.
area of the world we've never been to before. We've not spent much time
Oh,
over in that region.
no, that's why I wanted to cover it. I thought it'd be an
yeah.
interesting foray into that area. We've never dipped our toes into the Uzbekistan
Yeah.
swamps. Do they have swamps over there?
No, I think it's a lot.
Maybe.
lot of plains, lot of deserts. But, hey,
Yeah.
Yeah.
let's
But,
come back sometime. I had a good time over it.
Yeah. Oh,
But, you know, there's always a temptation to do, you know, dishes that are from a single region and don't have as much input from different places. So it's nice to have gone to a country we don't know much about that's kind of nestled in between three very kind of prominent areas of the world, and see how those different prominent areas kind of fed into that country and that cuisine. I thought that was really interesting.
A melting pot of plov, if you will.
Melting pot of plov. Well, there you go. Plov, Uzbekistan. Who'd have thought it? Not me. I thought it was all made up.
And it's at this point we'd like to say, "Hey, everybody!"
Oh, boys.
What are we like?
It'd be double annoying if you waited till I edited it.
Yeah,
then
actually, yeah. We'll wait.
Yeah, no, it is
It's actually real,
mate.
Miles. It's real. It's real.
It is
Yeah.
seriously real.
Well, there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as we did. Yeah, thank you for sticking around to the end. Very happy to have you. And we're getting some great comments on social media, and people are leaving us notes and sending us messages and things. And it's all very nice to hear from you. So yeah, thank you for listening. We really do appreciate it. Feel free to follow us on socials if you haven't already. We're on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. So you can follow us on there. We're posting video clips, little teasers of the episodes, sharing all sorts of posts and things we talk about on the episodes. And
Well, it's your little morsels for you to get tucked into.
If you've got 5 minutes, just share it with a friend. You know, that really that will really benefit us. It really helps this podcast grow, and then we can continue to make up more dishes and pretend they're real to Miles. So
Yeah.
Have a listen to this white ignorant man singing about plov. Come on, have a listen.
I think word of mouth, you know, is still the best way for podcasts to get out there. So if you do enjoy the show and you want to do us a favour, then just telling a friend about it is the best thing you can do. We'd really appreciate it.
We'd bloody love that.
All right, well, we'll love you and leave you. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time for the next episode. Stay in touch, be safe, and enjoy your big bowls of plov. Until then, see you later.
see you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.